Hello everyone, let's talk today about one of my favorite topics, collaborative innovation. My name is Braden Kelly, author of the popular book Stoking Your Innovation Bonfire, and a chapter in another great book, A Guide to Open Innovation and Crowdsourcing. I've lived and worked in England, Germany, and the United States, and currently live in Seattle. In my spare time, I co-founded the world's most popular innovation website, innovationexcellence.com, home to more than 5,000 articles from more than 300 contributing authors all around the world. On Twitter, I tweet as @innovate if you'd like to follow along there. And my specialty is in creating simple mental models to help organizations transform their innovation mindset for greater future success. So let's go ahead and jump right into the content. And let's do it by talking about a very important statement, which is that innovation is the oxygen of business. The truth is that if we don't continue to innovate as an organization, eventually we'll start to suffocate and die. Organizations require constant refreshment and renewal to succeed for the long term. So let's start by asking a couple of questions as we move forward. Number one is, what does an innovator look like? Does it look like this guy, Walt Disney? Or this lady, Marie Curie? Or maybe this gentleman, Sir James Dyson? Or possibly glass artist Dale Chihuly? And what form or what function does innovation often serve and take? But before we get into even more, I'd like to destroy the lone innovator myth. When we look at people like Bill Gates or Thomas Edison or Alexander Graham Bell or even Steve Jobs, it's very easy to ascribe the innovation success of an entire organization to a single individual. But as we know, all of these people had teams of people behind the scenes working to help make the innovation happen that they often as an individual get credit for. We may love our innovation heroes, but the truth be told, innovation is not about the individual, it's about the team. And if so, where do great innovation ideas come from? Well, they don't come from the shower when you're there by yourself, or most of the time by yourself. Instead, they come from the universities all around the world and from places like coffee shops and hookah bars and private clubs, and yes, even from our organizations. Places where people have the opportunity to both collect and connect as individuals and also collect and connect their ideas that lead to innovation. And when we look at, great big ideas, often they are the result of lots of small ideas coming together and evolving as they collect and connect. And one of the key things we must always remember is that ideas are like seeds, that up front we don't know which one will be the whopper. So it's very important that we both create innovation portfolios and that we're constantly working to evaluate our ideas as we move through the innovation life cycle and to work to make them better in a collaborative way. Because innovation is not something that you do by yourself. It's a collaborative activity. And so it's very important that we always remember that as we work to make innovation happen, that it's lots of different parts of the organization coming together to create that innovation. And even it's our organization working outside our four walls to partner with lots of other organizations to make that complete innovation occur. It's almost like creating an army of eyes if you want to make innovation successful in the long term. But one of the keys is to get everyone pulling in the right direction. And what I like to talk about and stress is the fact that to make that happen, to get everybody pulling in the same direction when it comes to innovation, you must both have a definition for innovation and also create a common language for innovation. Some organizations have used my book to help with that, but whether you want to do that or whether you want to create your own definition for innovation and your own common language for innovation, it's just all I care is that you create one, because that will drive innovation success more than anything else. And one of the reasons is that it will help to break down some of the silos that exist within the organization as it pertains to innovation. And one of the reasons that I created the 9 innovation roles was that most of the people talking about innovation and innovation teams were talking about them in a disciplinary way, bringing marketing folks together with operations and finance folks to make a complete innovation team. And I don't feel that that's really the way that innovation happens within organizations, at least if you want to be successful. That it's much more important to take a roles-based approach to innovation and make sure that all the roles necessary to make innovation happen are represented on an innovation team. And so that's why I created the 9 innovation roles. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and you can see the 9 right here on the screen. And let's talk about each of them individually real fast. First, we have the revolutionary, which are people that hate the status quo. They're always coming up with ideas, how to make things better. They're the noisy people in your organization, and if you have an idea management software platform, likely they put in 80% of the ideas into it. They're very important to help kick off the process, but they're not the be-all end-all, which is why there's the other 8 roles in the 9 innovation roles. Every role is important. They all serve different purposes, and they must work together. The second role is the artist, which is really good at taking some of these ideas that revolutionaries come up with and making them even better. So artists are equally important, as are troubleshooters, people that can quickly identify potential fatal flaws in an idea and really enjoy that problem solving, that difficult challenge to busting through that barrier and overcoming that fatal flaw. Then we have the Conscript. These are the quietest of the bunch. They really enjoy working on innovation projects, although you probably aren't going to get a lot of ideas from them. They don't jump up and down and make a lot of noise, but very key to the process. And if you can find a way to extract ideas from your conscript, sort of the silent majority, then you're likely to get some of your best ideas there. So somebody has to help do the work and not expect a lot of credit, and oftentimes these are the conscripts in the organization. Then we have the customer champion, which often lives more towards the edge of the organization, and as you proceed through the innovation path, oftentimes they may be the closest thing that you have available to a real customer in front of you to work through some of your issues. Then there's the connector, people that know where both the human capital and other kinds of capital in the organization live and how to connect it into the project. The judge, who's really good at stepping outside of themselves and making objective decisions about which ideas have the most promise in the marketplace. The magic maker, people that can see how to take this crazy idea and actually make it real and actually produce the thing or the service. And then we have finally the evangelist, people that in my innovation methodology based on value, or my value innovation methodology, which is composed of value creation, value access, and value translation, evangelists really excel at the value translation component and helping people see how something's going to fit into their lives and helping people inside the organization earlier in the process understand why they should support the idea and why it's important and potentially transformative. So those are the 9 innovation roles, and to make it more tangible and even more fun, I created a set of cards with a great designer in Las Vegas, and you can see the designs here on the screen. And one of the exciting things that I'm proud to announce in this video is that I'm making the design for these cards available for free download on 9roles.com. So you can download and print these cards at your cost. You can use the vendor that I use, which is AddMagic if you want. But no matter where you are in the world, you can download this design for free and get them printed locally so that you can use them in your own workshops and team meetings that you use this video with. So what questions should we ask as we conduct a 9 innovation roles workshop or team meeting? Well, the first is, what kind of innovator are you? So this is sort of the self-identification part of the workshop. Everybody with 9 cards in front of them trying to figure out which 1 to 3 roles that they tend towards, that they feel most comfortable and successful with. And to help with that process, I've created a spreadsheet that's also available for free download on 9roles.com. And this can be used for just self-identification and gathering data within each team around the table, or it could even be used in a 360-degree feedback kind of way to see not only what you think, but what others think about you and your strengths within the 9 roles, or the ones that you tend towards. Question 2, which of these roles is most scarce within your organization? So this is taking the wide-angle lens view on your organization as it pertains to the 9 innovation roles. Which of these roles are most scarce within your organization? And what's the impact on the organization and its culture of those roles being so scarce? there usually is one or two roles that are very scarce in an organization from the workshops that I've done. And it's not the same in every organization, and it's very fascinating to see how an organization's struggles can also often be linked to the missing one or two, not missing, but the scarce one or two roles, possibly, or hopefully, it's only one or two, within an organization. Question 3, which roles are missing on your team? So this can be either the teams around the tables that you're gathered at now, or this could be the teams that you actually innovate with. Which roles are missing? Have some conversations about that. Look around the table at the cards that people have in front of them, and which ones you don't see any cards out there represented. And then question 4, related question, what is the impact of those roles being missing? And then question 5 is, really how would you want to structure your innovation teams for success in the future? You might want to start with how they're currently structured. You might want to go back to question 4 and talk through some more about which roles are missing and how you might want to try to supplement or fill in the gaps for those missing roles, so that as the project or more than one project moves forward through your innovation process, that those roles aren't just left vacant, but that you try to fill them in and get the input of people that are strong on those missing roles. But those are the 5 questions that I've pulled together to help you organize your workshop on your own. And again, from 9roles.com, you can download the design for the cards, the free worksheet, a presentation that you can walk people through that explains the 9 roles. And of course, maybe you've gotten this video there, or maybe you've gotten it on YouTube or Vimeo. But all the resources that you need to conduct your own 9 Innovation Roles workshop or your own 9 Innovation Roles team meeting are there for the taking. Of course, don't take the credit off. They are copyrighted materials. But I'm making them available because I really believe that this methodology can help innovation teams be more successful. And for me, it's really all about making innovation more accessible for the greater good. But if you'd like to bring me in and have me do an inspiring keynote to kick things off, or to work through both the 9 innovation roles as part of a workshop and some of the other fun things that I like to do in a workshop environment, you'll see my contact details here. And whichever way you choose to go, I'm perfectly happy with. And I'd just like to say one final thing, which is that, when it comes to innovation, you have to play music that people are willing to listen to and pay for. And so with that, keep innovating.